Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Comedy on State. My name is Chris. I'm going to be your host this evening. On behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you all for wearing your masks. I know it's not fun, but I've personally developed a very easygoing attitude toward masks, you know? I pretty much treat them like condoms. If I walk in the room and everyone else is wearing one, I'll put one on. Just seems polite. But if I walk in the room and no one else is wearing one, I am definitely putting one on. Just to be safe. To tell you something about myself, my neighbor's house doesn't have any numbers on its door or mailbox. And I know that isn't funny, but it's something that needs to be addressed. Who was applauding? That's my target audience for the night. I never know how the audience is going to receive that one. Hey, come on, I thought I nailed the delivery there. All right, enough of that. Something else about myself, I'm a former teacher. Oh, no, you should have held those applause. I wasn't a good one. My problem is I'm just a bad authority figure. I always had a really hard time telling my students no, especially when they asked if I was looking to buy weed. What do you want me to do, lie to them? You kind of need that discount they'll trade you for a passing grade, you know? Can't turn down a good deal on a teacher's salary. A lot of people think that marijuana negatively affects academic performance. I found it does not. Because after I started smoking pot, all of my students' grades drastically improved. You know, their essays used to be pretty hard to read, but suddenly I'm like, oh, I get it. Their spelling mistakes used to infuriate me. Now they're like fun word puzzles to solve. I was giving those kids a lot of F's. Now I'm giving them FOs for far out. First time I've ever had high hopes for those kids. Something else about myself is I'm a wrestling fan. That's my big shame. It's like, there's more out there. I know it. We just don't like to reveal ourselves. We're the least respected type of fandom there is. I wish when I'd gotten into wrestling, I had just got really into football instead. That's a more respectable following. My brother got a promotion at his job, and he thinks it's because of how much his boss likes talking baseball with him. If you get a promotion at your job because of how much your boss likes talking professional wrestling, that makes you the new shift manager at GameStop. That's the only title in your future. Wrestling fans caught a break over the pandemic, though, because all the other sports stopped. Wrestling just kept going. That's because Vince McMahon went to the Florida Athletic Commission and got professional wrestlers declared essential employees. Which is ridiculous, right? I mean, really, the only wrestler we absolutely needed over the pandemic was The Undertaker. Oh, come on. I know that one's dark, but it's a culturally relevant joke about professional wrestling. I think that's something. I had a not bad 2020, actually, compared to my 2019. 2019 was the worst summer of my life. 2019 was the summer where my girlfriend and I broke up in June. But the lease of our one-bedroom apartment wasn't up until the end of August. Has anyone else ever had that joy? Any of you ever gotten to spend an entire summer withering in the shadow of expired love? That's not even a joke. That's straight from my diary. I was like, let's try this in the joke book and see how that works. Cut and paste. If you've never had this joy, what it's like is, you know how sometimes after a breakup you might find one of your ex's hairs like on the couch, and you think about them and feel sad for a moment? That was my life every day for 3 months, but it was all of her hairs, and they were still connected to her head. She was like, "Let go of my hair, you creep. This is why we broke up." That's not why we broke up, to be clear. That's a bad look. It was actually because she said I'm too pretentious. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she meant condescending. This one time she walked in on me and I was reading a book of existential philosophy, and she rolls her eyes and says, "Oh my God, are you for real?" I was like, that is what I'm trying to figure out. Pretty sure that's the moment our relationship stopped being for real. It's tough breaking up with someone you live with, because first I had to get over losing her. That was hard. But then I had to get over losing all of her stuff. That was harder, because she had the better stuff. All of it. She got the bed. Now I had to sleep on a futon. She got all of the dishes. Now I had to eat off cardboard boxes. She got the TV. Now I had to watch it from the bushes outside her new place. Fortunately, I got the remote. All right, it's Monday night. Wrestling's on. Woo! But then she got curtains, which brought us closure. Getting back out there, though, I'm dating. It's hard. You run into all kinds of obstacles. Went on a date recently, and okay, I've made the switch since then to contact lenses. But in this case, I showed up, and her first words to me were, "Oh, you wear glasses." Which, to be fair, I wasn't wearing glasses in my profile picture. I'll admit that. But that's just because I wanted someone to go out with me. I didn't think it was going to be a deal breaker. You know, the glasses come off. What is she, some kind of sight supremacist? So I took them off, and I was like, there, now we're both more attractive. Hell yeah, that felt pretty good. It felt pretty good. Almost walked out of there with my head held high, but then I turned around and smacked right into the wall. It wasn't even the wall the door was on. I am blind, basically. Went out on another date that turned out to be the worst date I've ever been on, but I didn't know that at the time. I just thought it was a bad date. But the next morning, I checked her Twitter because she said she was really active. I was like, maybe she said something about me. She had posted a video blog about how she had just been out with the most boring man she has ever met. A 5-minute video blog. And I can't tell you how much it hurt to know that immediately after our date, she had gone out with someone else. You know, maybe she should have given me more time. I don't like what my matches say about me sometimes. Like, I've noticed I match with a lot of women whose primary interest is true crime podcasts. And I'm wondering why murder fanatics are attracted to me. You know, do you think I'm handsome or do you think I'm a potential suspect? I asked one woman if she wanted to get a drink, and her response was, I don't know. Are you a serial killer? I was like, do you want me to be? I mean, I'll choke you if you absolutely insist, but not to completion. She told me to get back to her when I'm ready to commit. I was like, commit what? That's a bad way of saying that. I do realize I probably shouldn't do jokes that imply I could be a serial killer, because I do have 3 of the main characteristics of serial killers. You look like you agree with that way too much. It's true. I'm slender, I'm white, and I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's a blemish on our record. That's our fault. We're sorry about that, everyone. As a Milwaukeean, I take full responsibility. The whole Jeffrey Dahmer story happened when I was in like 6th grade, and that kind of hangs over you. You know, it's a horrifying story for a child to encounter. And I think I've dealt with it finally by writing a short play, which I will perform for you now. This has been extremely therapeutic for me. It's the hypothetical meeting of 2 characters, one of whom is Milwaukee cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer. The other one is Mrs. Fletcher, and if you don't recognize that name, she's the elderly woman in distress in those old Life Alert commercials. And if you still don't know who I'm talking about, I think you will after I deliver her line. So here we go. The comedy on state debut of Mrs. Fletcher meets Jeffrey Dahmer. I've fallen, and I can't get up. 5-second rule. That is, I'm pretty sure that's going to take over for Hamilton. Once I get all the musical numbers written, I got confidence in that one. I am dating right now. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning a lot through dating. I recently went home with a woman who had a clit piercing, and I learned that I'm into that because it made it so much easier to find. I was like, hold on a second. I'll go get my metal detector. Hey, buried treasure. All right. How are we feeling, everybody? Are we feeling good? All right, we have got such a good show lined up for you this evening. We've got a very special guest coming up right now. She's also from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You're going to love her. Please put your hands together. Give a warm welcome to Ryer Cameraman.